We're bush hogging. Yeah, bush hogging. Today on GP Outdoors. Now that the big cleanup in Guy's yard is underway, we've got pretty much everything out of here. We need to get back into the forest, try to find kind of the right spot or clearing where we can set up the AXIS that's going to allow us easy access to different parts of the target range. So we can skid those logs out to the trail, get them set up so that we can get trailers in, and that way when we're bucking and splitting out there, we've got one kind of more or less central location for that to happen. It's a beautiful day out. I hope you guys will stick around with us. Hey, just a quick note for my friends that are creators in the outdoor space here on YouTube. You've been thinking about that Pocket 3. Not sure if it's going to work okay outside. I'm a couple weeks in. I'm pretty impressed. Yes, the active track will follow the tractor. It'll also follow your helmet. It'll follow any object, not just a facial recognition. However, if you hide behind a tree for a minute and come out, it won't find you again. But so far, so good. The one downside, of course, is it's not waterproof. So you won't be pulling it out in the rain or in the snow in the wintertime. But we'll see how she handles the summer, the heat in the summer, and I'll give you guys an update in a few months. You folks may not remember this. I'm going to try to remember to put one of the earlier videos here, maybe the ones when we had the Eastonmade 2228 with the conveyor. But believe it or not, this is that clearing. It's only been a few years, but as you can see, Mother Nature takes care of things pretty quick. I know every once in a while folks are asking me, are you guys not replanting trees when you're taking down all of these trees for firewood? And the answer is no, because we don't have to. Forest replenishes itself and very quickly. But this area under here, for the most part, is all cleared out because this is where we processed, was this section of, about around 5 acres around this area. And we used to haul and drag those logs, if you remember, with chains out to this general area. Our main trail is here, as you know. And if we just take a look to the right, the target range is probably about 100 feet to the right of me there, straight through where the camera is pointing. And we are probably around the 250 meter mark. If you recall last summer, we got most of those logs, if not all of them, out that we thought were recoverable from the first part of the range. So our focus this summer is, of course, going to be in that last 200, 225 meters because we haven't yet pulled very much out of it. So that's why Guy's going to check down there if we've got a better area. Let's head on down. You might be wondering where that bush hog came from. You guys recall that Husky Bob has a whole lot of acreage down the concession road a ways, out by where his wood stack is that you guys have seen many times. He decided a couple of years ago he wanted to start taking care of those fields because he's got tons of fields and meadows. So we decided to buy that bush hog for the L series. So he's been pretty much the only one using it to date. I think it's a little too big for my 2610, but works great on the L, as you can see. Morning, Husky.
Good morning, how are you?
Good, buddy.
Prickly business in here, hey?
I'll say, yeah, wow. You can see guys kind of taking a stepped approach because it's pretty high in here. And we just got to make sure we don't have any big rocks we forgot about in this clearing. And he'll come back and make a second pass, get it down a little bit shorter. So here's the plan that we've got. This area here, which used to be the clearing we did most of our firewood, as I mentioned, for several years. Guys clearing this out, so it's kind of a bit of a staging area. As many of you folks know, have been with us for a few years, quite often on the weekends, a bunch of the guys down the concession road like to get together. So, you know, whether it's Chuck or Ralph or Husky and Guy and Bill, John, people will come up with their ATVs and their trailers to lend a hand. And so this will give us kind of an area where we can park extra trailers or have people parked or waiting or pull off of the main trail, because as you can see, it's pretty thin out here. But here's where all the action's gonna happen. We're trying to find just the right kind of consolidated or central place to put that access so that we could get easy access in and out, more or less try to keep it in one spot if possible, but also minimize any effort or inefficiency in trying to drag or skid these logs out to the main trail. And here's the plan we came up with, which I think is going to work out great. I just brought us back in here through one of the many little access trails we made into the target range. You'll remember this area here is where we were felling a lot of trees earlier this spring, and we came back and we started chipping off all the branches. We got a lot of firewood there waiting for us. So the target range, as you know, starts way down there at the workshop, and she comes right through here. And you may not be able to see it in the camera, but the 475 meter mark is painted in orange on the very end tree right at the end of this range. But we've got lots of hardwood everywhere here. And we also have kind of a cleared out opening. So it just made sense, I think, that if we look back here, we've got a reasonably wide area here where we can set up the axis. That way I'll be able to grapple or skid any of these logs right down to the very end, because you can get through all the way to the end. Drag them out here. We'll pull them into this as a staging area to buck them. And then if we drop the axis right here with the conveyor here, that way we've got all of our rounds or our bolts here, right onto the axis, off the conveyor and onto a waiting trailer. One of the nice things about this location is that we have an entrance or exit here, which comes right through here past where we're going to stage the axis. We've got an exit this way, and if we need to later after we clear, we can exit out that way. So this way, anybody coming through with trailers on ATVs or on tractors can either come back through here, but most likely we'll have them come through this trail here, kind of pull up right here. We'll have the access here. There's our staging or our bucking area. And I've got lots of room to grapple these logs or skid them down through this opening into this staging area. So that's the plan. Got an area on the main trail, where we can park extra trailers or extra vehicles, keep them out of the way. We've got a thoroughfare, so to speak, all the way past me and in behind me. And we've got a nice big area that'll give us room for multiple people to work, hang out together, split wood, buck logs, and have a good time hopefully this summer. And finish up getting this target range cleared, because I'm pretty sure Guy is just chomping at the bit to use it. So hey, let's head back down the trail and see how much progress they're making with that bush hog. So we're pretty much wrapped up. I think Guy's going to use that bush hog to widen out kind of the sides of the trails over the next few weeks, but we've got an in and out access from the main trail and then of course back to the main trail. And we have a nice clearing area here where we can park vehicles, ATVs, tractors or trailers as we go back and forth into the target range, which is just over yonder there. Boys are heading down because we're wrapped up with the bush hog for the day. And I guess I'll leave you guys with that. I'm gonna grab the tractor. We're just gonna go down and start bucking those logs to 8 feet so we can start working on them. It's not even noon yet. Thanks so much for hanging around. I hope you enjoyed hanging out in the forest. It sure does change quick, eh? From spring to now, it's almost overnight. The whole canopy just fills right in. Have a great week. Thanks so much for sticking around with us. Please be kind to each other, and we'll see you again on the next one. I'm Gord Potter, and you've been watching GP Outdoors. Cheers.
Mm-hmm.